The cozy beginning. In a snug little house nestled at the edge of a meadow, an elderly woman sat by the warm glow of the fireplace. Her knitting needles clicked gently as she worked on a soft scarf. The room was quiet except for the crackle of the fire and the occasional chirp of birds outside the window. The old woman paused her knitting and sighed. "I feel so lonely these days," she said aloud, her voice echoing in the cozy space. "I need to do something fun to bring some joy into this house." Her eyes lit up with an idea. "I know! I'll bake a gingerbread man," she exclaimed, setting her knitting aside and heading toward the kitchen. Little did she know, her simple idea would lead to an adventure beyond her wildest dreams. In another corner of the little house, the old man sat by the window, enjoying the golden rays of the morning sun. He rocked gently in his chair, sipping tea and reading the newspaper. The warm light filled the room, illuminating the wooden floor and the ball of yarn that had rolled near his chair. He glanced up from his paper as the sunlight danced on the teapot and cups on the small table beside him. It was a peaceful morning, but he couldn't help but feel that something exciting was about to happen. Just then, his wife appeared in the doorway. "You won't believe what I'm about to do," she said with a mischievous smile. The old man raised his eyebrows in curiosity, setting the paper aside. "What is it, my dear?" he asked. "I'm going to bake something magical," she replied with a twinkle in her eye. The old man chuckled, intrigued by her sudden burst of energy, unaware of the adventure that awaited them both. In the warm, inviting kitchen, the old woman tied on her apron and gathered her ingredients: flour, sugar, spices, and eggs. The countertop was a flurry of activity as she sifted, mixed, and kneaded the dough. A smile spread across her face as she shaped the dough into a little gingerbread man. "This is going to be the most cheerful gingerbread man ever," she said, carefully smoothing out the edges with a spoon. She added a little face with icing and bright candy buttons. The gingerbread man looked almost alive as he sat on the baking tray, ready to go into the oven. "Perfect," the old woman exclaimed, her eyes sparkling. She slid the tray into the oven, humming a happy tune. Little did she know, her creation was about to bring more excitement than she ever expected. The kitchen filled with the warm aroma of ginger and spices as the old woman carefully opened the oven door. Her eyes sparkled with joy as she slid the tray out and admired her creation. The gingerbread man was perfect. His icing smile seemed brighter than ever, and his candy buttons glistened under the light. "Oh, you look wonderful," she exclaimed, placing the tray on the counter. Suddenly, the gingerbread man blinked. Then he wiggled. Before the old woman could say another word, he jumped right off the tray and onto the counter. "Thank you for baking me," he said with a cheeky grin. "But now I've got to run." The old woman stood frozen in surprise, watching as the gingerbread man dashed toward the door, leaving a trail of cookie crumbs behind. The old woman, wearing her favorite purple oven mitts, beamed with pride as she pulled the tray of freshly baked gingerbread men out of the oven. The warm, spicy scent filled the kitchen, making her smile even wider. "These are the best gingerbread men I've ever made," she said, admiring their cheerful faces and perfectly piped icing. She carefully set the tray down, feeling a sense of accomplishment. But just as she turned to fetch a cooling rack, something unexpected happened. One of the gingerbread men wiggled. Then another blinked their icing eyes. The old woman gasped as all three gingerbread men sat up and began stretching their little arms and legs. One of them turned to her and said with a playful grin, "Thanks for baking us. But now, we've got to run." Before she could say a word, the gingerbread men leapt off the tray and raced toward the door, giggling all the way. "Oh no, you don't," the old woman laughed, chasing after them. "You're not getting away that easily." After a lively morning of baking and chasing, the old woman finally sat down at her wooden table. The cozy warmth of the wood stove filled the room, and steam curled gently from the teapot on the table. She poured herself a cup of tea, smiling contentedly as she admired the tray of freshly baked gingerbread cookies. The tray was filled with intricate gingerbread shapes, hearts, stars, and little men, all perfectly baked and beautifully decorated. The sunlight streamed through the window, adding a golden glow to the peaceful scene. As she sipped her tea, she chuckled to herself. Well, if some of my gingerbread runs away, at least I still have these ones to enjoy. Her eyes sparkled with warmth as she thought about the adventure she'd just had. The gingerbread men who had run off had filled her day with laughter, and she couldn't wait to see what surprises might come next. As the old woman leaned over the baking tray to admire her work, something extraordinary happened. The gingerbread man suddenly sat up, his icing smile growing even wider. "Thank you for making me, ma'am," he exclaimed in a cheerful voice. The old woman's eyes widened, and her mouth fell open in shock. "You can talk?" she gasped, clutching the edge of the table for support. "Of course I can talk," the gingerbread man said with a playful chuckle. "But I don't have time to chat. I've got to run." Before the old woman could react, the gingerbread man jumped off the tray and dashed across the table. "Catch me if you can," he shouted as he raced toward the door, leaving a trail of crumbs behind. The old woman stood frozen for a moment, then burst into laughter. "Well, I certainly didn't see that coming," she said, grabbing her apron and preparing to give chase. The gingerbread man bolted out of the kitchen and into the hallway, his little legs moving faster than anyone could believe. "Run, run, as fast as you can. You can't catch me. I'm the gingerbread man," he sang cheerfully. The old woman, still wide-eyed in amazement, ran after him. "He's alive. He's really alive," she called to her husband, who had just come downstairs. The old man stopped in his tracks, his newspaper slipping from his hand. "What in the world?" he exclaimed, staring at the lively little cookie zooming past him. "We have to catch him," the old woman said, reaching out to grab the gingerbread man. But the clever cookie zigged and zagged, avoiding their hands with ease. The old man and woman chased him down the hallway, laughing and shouting, but the gingerbread man was too quick. "Catch me if you can," he called out, dashing toward the front door. The house filled with the sounds of laughter and footsteps, and for the first time in years, the old couple felt more alive than ever. The gingerbread man dashed out the front door, his icing smile gleaming in the sunlight. "Run, run, as fast as you can. You can't catch me. I'm the gingerbread man," he sang, zigzagging across the grassy yard. The old man and woman stepped onto the porch, panting and laughing as they watched their mischievous cookies sprint toward the meadow. "Stop, little gingerbread man," the old man called, raising his hands in surrender. "We just want to talk." But the gingerbread man was too quick. "You can't catch me," he teased, hopping over a patch of wildflowers. The old woman couldn't help but chuckle. "Well, he's certainly brought some excitement to our day," she said, her eyes sparkling with delight. As the gingerbread man darted through the meadow, the couple decided to let him go, enjoying the unexpected joy he had brought into their lives. As the gingerbread man darted through the meadow, he caught the attention of a curious cow grazing nearby. The cow raised her head, her big brown eyes widening as she spotted the little cookie. "Stop right there," the cow mooed, her voice echoing across the field. "You look delicious, and I'm hungry." The gingerbread man turned his head mid-run and grinned. "Run, run, as fast as you can. You can't catch me. I'm the gingerbread man," he called, his laughter ringing through the air. The cow stomped her hooves and started running after him, her tail swishing as she barreled through the wildflowers. The gingerbread man zipped and zagged, always staying just out of reach. "This is fun," he laughed, his candy buttons gleaming in the golden sunlight. "But you'll never catch me." The cow snorted, determined but amused, as the two raced across the meadow, the warm sun casting long shadows behind them. The gingerbread man raced across the meadow, his icing smile shining as he sang a song. "Run, run, as fast as you can. You can't catch me. I'm the gingerbread man." Behind him, the cow continued the chase, her playful mooing filling the air. But no matter how fast she ran, the gingerbread man always stayed just ahead. Meanwhile, the old man and woman stood by the fence near their house, watching the spectacle with laughter in their eyes. "Well, I suppose he's made a friend," the old man chuckled, holding onto his wife's arm as they both smiled warmly. The gingerbread man paused for just a moment to wave at the couple. "Don't worry about me. I'm having the best day ever," he shouted before dashing off again, leaving a trail of cookie crumbs behind him. The cow slowed her pace, realizing this chase was more fun than serious. "You're fast, little one," she called out with a laugh. The meadow was alive with the sounds of laughter, mooing, and the joyful jingles of the gingerbread man's song. Under the golden glow of the setting sun, it was clear that everyone was having the time of their lives. As the gingerbread man sprinted through the colorful meadow, a majestic brown horse noticed the lively little cookie racing past. The horse neighed, shaking its mane as it galloped closer. "Stop there, little cookie," the horse called out with a booming voice. "I've never seen something so tasty on 4 legs." The gingerbread man laughed, glancing back as he sped ahead. "Run, run, as fast as you can. You can't catch me. I'm the gingerbread man," he chanted, zigzagging through the blooming flowers. The horse quickened its pace, leaping gracefully over wildflowers and patches of grass. "You're fast, but I'm faster," the horse neighed, joining the spirited chase. The gingerbread man giggled. "You're fast, but you're not clever enough to catch me," he teased, weaving between trees and flowers. The horse couldn't help but smile as it realized the gingerbread man's energy was infectious. The meadow became a playground, filled with galloping hooves, cheerful laughter, and the rustling of flowers swaying in the breeze. The horse, cow, and gingerbread man shared the open field in an adventure that was more about fun than catching the cookie. The gingerbread man paused in the meadow, surrounded by vibrant flowers and golden sunlight. The cow and horse slowed down, their playful chase turning into a joyful gathering. The old man and woman watched from the porch of their cozy house, laughing and holding hands. "You've brought so much fun to all of us, little gingerbread man," the old woman called out with a smile. The gingerbread man turned to face them, his icing grin as bright as the sun. "I may run fast, but what I love even more is making friends," he said with a twinkle in his candy eyes. The horse and cow nodded in agreement. "This has been the best day ever," the cow mooed, and the horse neighed in delight. The old man and woman walked over to join the cheerful group. "You're always welcome here, little one," the old man said warmly. "You've brought so much laughter into our lives." The gingerbread man beamed. "And I'll keep running, but I'll always come back for more adventures with my new friends." As the sun set over the meadow, the group stood together, their laughter and joy filling the peaceful countryside. It was a happy ending for everyone, filled with friendship and fun. As the gingerbread man raced across the meadow, he noticed a bright red fox bounding gracefully toward him. The fox had a playful glint in its eyes and a friendly smile on its face. "Hello, little cookie," the fox called out, wagging its bushy tail. "Why are you running so fast? Are you playing a game?" The gingerbread man chuckled. "That's right. Run, run, as fast as you can. But you can't catch me. I'm the gingerbread man," he replied, his legs moving even faster. The fox laughed and joined the chase, leaping over flowers and weaving between trees. "I don't want to eat you. I just want to have fun," the fox assured him, running alongside him in the golden sunlight. The gingerbread man glanced at the fox and grinned. "Well, if you can keep up with me, we'll make great friends," he said, his candy eyes sparkling with excitement. The two new friends raced together through the meadow, their laughter echoing in the peaceful countryside. The gingerbread man realized that not all chases had to end with being caught. Some could lead to new adventures and lasting friendships. The gingerbread man found himself surrounded by a lively gathering of friends in the meadow. The playful foxes, the loyal horse, and even the fluffy sheep had joined the fun. The old woman stood near her charming cottage, her face beaming with pride as she watched the joyful scene unfold. "Look at you, bringing everyone together," the old woman called out to the gingerbread man. The gingerbread man danced in the grass, his frosting smile wider than ever. "I may be fast, but the best part of the run is sharing it with friends," he declared. The horse trotted closer and neighed. "You've made this the happiest day we've had in the meadow." The foxes wagged their tails, and the sheep bleated in agreement. Flowers swayed in the breeze as the sun painted the sky in hues of gold and lavender. Laughter and cheerful chatter filled the air, creating a moment of harmony that the gingerbread man knew would be unforgettable. The old woman clapped her hands. "Come along, everyone. Let's enjoy some cookies and tea," she said, leading the way to her cozy cottage. The gingerbread man laughed. "I'll join you soon. Let me enjoy this beautiful meadow with my new friends a little longer." As the gingerbread man reached the edge of a shimmering river, he came to a stop, unsure of how to cross. The water sparkled in the evening sun, but it looked too deep for him to wade through. The fox, still by his side, gently placed a paw on the gingerbread man's shoulder. "Don't worry, my sweet friend," the fox said with a kind smile. "I'll help you get to the other side. You can trust me." The gingerbread man hesitated for a moment. "Are you sure?" he asked, his frosting eyebrows lifting in concern. "I've heard stories about foxes." The fox chuckled softly. "I'm not like other foxes. Besides, I'd never hurt a friend. Let's go, hop onto my tail." The gingerbread man smiled, feeling reassured by the fox's sincerity. He climbed onto the fox's tail and held on tightly. As the fox gently waded into the river, the gingerbread man marveled at the beauty around him, the glowing sky, the rippling water, and the kindness of his new companion. "See? Nothing to fear," the fox said, looking back with a wink. Together, they moved across the river, a picture of trust and friendship against the golden sunset. As the fox gently carried the gingerbread man to the riverbank, a warm cheer erupted from the hillside. The old couple, the cow, the horse, and a group of friendly forest animals had gathered to welcome them. The golden light of the setting sun painted the meadow in a soft, magical glow. "You're safe," exclaimed the old woman, running up to the gingerbread man with her arms outstretched. She hugged him gently, mindful of his delicate icing. The old man chuckled and patted the fox's head. "You've got quite the hero in you, Mr. Fox." The gingerbread man smiled brightly. "Mr. Fox is my new best friend. He saved me from the river and gave me the adventure of a lifetime." The fox bowed his head modestly. "It was my pleasure. Besides, who wouldn't want a friend as cheerful as this little guy?" The cow and horse joined in, nudging the gingerbread man playfully. "We were worried about you," said the horse. "But we're glad everything turned out well." The meadow turned into a joyful celebration. The animals danced, the old couple brought out cups of tea and cookies, and the gingerbread man shared tales of his adventure. From that day on, the gingerbread man lived happily with the old couple, often going on new adventures with his animal friends and, of course, the clever fox. Together, they turned the quiet countryside into a place of laughter, kindness, and endless fun. True happiness comes from kindness, teamwork, and building friendships. When we embrace others with love and work together, we create joy that makes life sweeter, just like the gingerbread man's adventure.
Once upon a time in a bakery so grand came a lava cookie they called Gingerbread Man, with the sugar smile and cinnamon tan. He danced out the door with a big bold plan. Run, run, run as fast as you can. Catch him quick, he's a gingerbread man. Through the fields and over the dam. Try to catch him, man, oh man. Old friend baker with the twinkling eye skipped past the farmer with a wave goodbye. Darted past the fox with clever disguise. He's the cookie that's just too sly. Run, run, run as fast as you can. Catch him quick, he's a gingerbread man. Through the fields and over the dam. Try to catch him, man, oh man. Oh man, how but he never slows. Leaves front, but he never goes. Sunset meets his brave little toes. Beaver with a clean grin, thought he'd swim, but he's too thin. Made a deal with the sly old fox, who had some tricky hidden locks.